another thing I want to talk about too is the hooks. So the first 10 seconds of your videos are really, really important. It's just like watching a TV show, the first episode, the pilot. The first since TV shows are longer, let's say a show is like 30 minutes, within the first 10 minutes of the show, or a movie, for example, in the first 10, 15 minutes of a movie, you're going to be enticed into what the movie is going to be about already. You're going to know the main characters, you're going to know the general storyline and the problem within like the first 15 minutes, 10, 15 minutes of the movie. So relate that to a 1 minute video or a 30-second video. It's going to be like the first 5 to 15 seconds of that video. So what's up?
So what would you say is the most productive way to captivate your audience?
So in me making all the videos I have so far, what I've learned so far is there's 3 types of hooks that you could use, which I actually have right here. There's a negative hook, a targeting hook, and then a broad hook. So a negative hook is something that is kind of like a psychology trick where it's like people are afraid of messing up. People are afraid of knowing that they're doing something wrong. So if you're able to be like, stop using this, instead do this, that's a negative hook that you could use. Or you could be like, you would have to make it seem like that you know something that they don't know. Even if they already know it, you have to make it seem like they're doing something wrong and that you're showing them the right way to do it. That is one way you can list a hook and make it negative but turn into a positive benefit. A targeting hook is like, well, a lot of y'all have seen me do, or some of y'all who have seen my videos before. Really? And that's literally that. You know what's crazy is like you just being yourself literally makes it unique. Like it doesn't even matter how like where you drew the inspiration for it. Like you just doing it on your own is what's making it unique. I can't do it like how you do it. It's just like one of those things where you just being you is already gonna make it you. Like you don't have to. That's people are also afraid of that too. We're in a day and age where nothing is like being like fully like original is impossible. Even now in Atlanta, like the creativity when it comes to like the style of photography out here is really aesthetic, as a lot of people would say. When I shot in like LA, for example, it was a totally different style of photography that was popular out there. Like out here, it's like, for example, like a lot of us are familiar with like the grainy texture, like yearbook type of photos. That out here was popularized by Youngin, but it wasn't originated from him. It was originated from just film, like just film photography being brought into the studio world. Like that's really where it all came from. And then when Youngin like popularized it, was shooting with like very culture, influential people, like it became like its own swag out here. And in LA, it was more like high fashion, crystal type of things that you would see in like magazines, ads. That was like popular out there. Most of them have never even really seen that style of photography if it wasn't for like TikTok and like Instagram kind of blowing up those things. But out there, photographers don't really shoot like that. So it's just like, that's one way on how that worked, which was really interesting to me. But a targeting hook, back to that, a targeting hook is basically within the first couple of seconds, identifying the exact audience that you're trying to target. So for me, like I would say, my videos are talking about beginner photographers. So I would literally start by saying just that. Beginner photographers and anyone learning photography, you should know this. That's something that I would say. You could say something like, anyone who's like learning this, anyone who wants to take better pictures, things like that, where it's like you're targeting exactly who you want to see the video right away. Now, that is a great way to do it, but also you are going to narrow your niche down a little bit by doing that, because anyone who isn't trying to learn the mechanics of photography isn't going to watch your video. It won't be like a regular person trying to watch it. And that leads into the last thing, which is a broad hook, which is making a hook that is digestible for everyone, but it gets into the topic that you're really trying to talk about later in the video. So one way I did this, where I did a self-portrait video, and instead of saying beginner photographers, anyone who wants to learn photography, this is how I took these self-portraits. I said, I would feel insecure about getting my photos taken here's how I took these self portraits. Like me starting it like that is something that I feel like a lot of people could relate to. Like a lot of people could relate to feeling awkward or insecure about how they look like in their photos. So finding a way to kind of broaden your hooks is another way to kind of get a whole group, a different group of people, or different dynamic of people to watch your video and kind of flow with what you're talking about. Do I have any questions with that so far?
What would you say is the most beneficial social media for broadening?
Like what platform?
Yeah, like widening your audience.
TikTok right now.
TikTok.
Yeah, TikTok just because like TikTok is like you're just seeing strangers. Like you're seeing people you've never seen before on your For You every single day. Like people you don't follow, people who have never seen your face, heard your voice, seen your work are gonna be seeing your work, hearing your voice and seeing your face.
When you
Like
post on TikTok, do you just like you know how when you post a reel you can download it and
mhm.
do that? Do you do that or do you make a whole nother video for TikTok?
I sometimes it could be both, but realistically, no, I post the same content that I post on TikTok onto Instagram. And what you want to do though is not save it after it's posted, unless you're gonna download the link and use a different website to like download it without the watermark. You do not want to post it with the TikTok watermark. I don't know why, but the algorithm is just not gonna rock with that. Yeah, I would before you post a video, there's actually a way to where if you go to where all like the settings there are like to like add like text and stuff, there'll be a way to save the video without the watermark like right then and there, and you'll have it just like that. So yeah, I post the same type of thing, and honestly, that's a good way to test it out too to see if it's gonna like usually because if a video goes viral on TikTok, it'll go viral on Instagram as well. So it's a good way to kind of test to see how people just respond, how strangers respond before you want to post to like your engaging audience. It's a good way.
What type of content do you think is the most universal? Like BTS, educational stuff? Because I feel like I struggle when I go into a shoot. I take a lot of videos, but afterwards I struggle to know how can I use these videos as content.
That's actually a great question. Now, that goes kind of back into the three E's of the way. I wouldn't say there's actually one that is higher than the other per se. They all have a huge audience waiting to watch your shit. Like they all have a huge audience waiting to watch all that. So for me, like with the educational world, I found that just because people always want to learn new things. You know, people use TikTok like a search engine now, actually. People just look up stuff like, how do I do this? How do I do that? Blah, blah, blah. Like, so for me, I would personally say that it would be the educational route, but you don't even have to be a professional or a whole professor to teach about what you know and what you've learned on your journey. So a lot of people just want to hear your perspective. You know what I mean? Anyone that just likes your photo would want to see your perspective on how you did it. So it's not, you don't have to like psych yourself out and thinking that like, oh, I don't know enough, when it's like what you've learned leading up to that point is enough to teach someone else. Because some people don't even know anything about nothing. Like some people have never touched a camera, never done nothing. And that for me is like, I love teaching people in that way. I love, you know, seeing how people react to that because like I said, you know, you kind of forget especially when you're shooting for a while, like you'll forget that people have literally never touched a camera before. So even if you feel like you need to know so much, what you've learned up to this journey is enough. Like as long as you're authentic in what you're saying and what's helped you, it's always gonna be someone out there that's gonna appreciate that and rock with you because of it for sure.
Do you think long videos can do well? Like,
Yeah, they can, but it's like you're gonna have to pay attention to recapturing that attention span because people's attention span are short. But if you are talking about the only way a long video would work is if one you are talking in it, and or if it's a creative sense of like it's portraying an emotion really, like consistently throughout the video. So for me in educating, it'll be I'll have to like constantly change the clips that are going through the video as I'm explaining whatever I'm talking about. So people have something to constantly look at and their brain is being stimulated as they're just listening to me. And that's something that I like to call FaceTime content, where it's just like you could just be doing other things and people could just listen to you talk. Yeah.
So it's not about what they're watching, it's more like what you're saying.
Yeah, that matters just as much, if not more, honestly. A little bit more matters, just a little bit, but they both matter quite a lot, for sure. I saw you had a question. What's up?
I was just saying, TikTok is actually pushing like 60-second videos.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. See, with TikTok now, they are pushing longer form content because of ad revenue. They want to make more money because of the magnitude and the size of their platform. So they're trying to figure out a way to push longer form content so they can have more, give creators more space to run ads within their platform. So because brands do like longer form content because you're talking more about their product or their program or whatever the case it is. So it's kind of like a win-win situation, but it also for the consumer, not a lot of people like to sit there and watch, long form content, because TikTok is also adding like 30-minute videos. They're testing that out right now. And I heard too, like after doing a little bit of research on that, like they're gonna, if they do decide to make 30-minute videos a full-fledged thing on their platform, they're gonna try to put ads in between the videos. I've actually seen that before on one of the videos. I was just scrolling and I saw that happen. Like an ad like popped up in the middle of the video, and I didn't even realize. I was just like, I was watching a video and this ad literally just popped up. Like it was kind of crazy. But yeah, you're right. TikTok is definitely trying to push out longer form content, really because they're all trying to chase YouTube, because YouTube is literally the originator of all this social media stuff, and they make the most money because of their ad revenue. So because of that, you're definitely right on that. And I don't know if Instagram is gonna chase that same wave, but I would not put it past them because, yeah, like it's just, yeah, because, every platform is kind of just leeching off each other. I haven't been on Snapchat for forever. I went on Snapchat, I saw that you could like stories now on Snap. That was kind of crazy for me because I was just like, hold on, bro. Like, I know I haven't been on here for like a couple years, but like, bro, like, you could like stories, you post on all this. And Snapchat is its own world too. People really watch news and stuff like that on Snapchat as well. So it's not just about Instagram and TikTok. They're just the biggest platforms right now.